Hey guys, it's Alicia, and I'm coming to you today with a story time. It's about North Carolina, and as most of you know, I'm from Virginia. Most people on my Instagram, and Facebook are also from Virginia, but I also get people from all over the country and all over the world. So let me break it down really quickly. I went to the hair salon to get a silk press, which for African American women straightens out their hair without chemicals. And it was specifically for natural hair. The person was supposed to be a specialist. The person was an African American stylist. My daughter picked it out. She also wanted to go get her hair done. We felt that we both deserved some self care, very much needed self care. Um, so we go, and very strange. Stylist wasn't there. The salon really smelled bad, and I guess it was maybe an off day. I'm going to give it that. It was my first time there. It smelled like urine. Yeah, and it was a nice salon. I had nice chairs and things, but it just wasn't clean at all. Um, so I just, okay, well, I'll give it a chance, and not be so, you know, rigid. Because, I mean, this is my daughter's day off, and we don't have much time. I got to pick my son up. The way my days go, a lot of times I don't have much time in between. Plus the things that I do, I don't have time. So I said, okay, well, we'll try to get this done. And in North Carolina, what that means in normal person's language is nothing's going to get done because they are slow, just like they're in, I don't know where you want to call them, Timbuktu. They take their time, they're rude most of the time, and you're very lucky if you can get through an experience without getting angry. And then if you get angry, then they try to pretend like they don't know why you're angry. I mean, it's like a circus, right? And you're like, then they try to make you feel guilty for expressing yourself. So anyway, she does my daughter's hair and it looked okay. So I said, okay, I trust her. And she was overcharging, trust me, at least $20, right? That was her tip. Like I've never seen a black hair care salon, right? This is the background, the backdrop to this. Even though we don't grow up in de facto segregated areas anymore, in Virginia, we have a very well educated, diverse area. And we have a lot of black people who may not be rich, but if anything, they're educated about how to deal with other cultures and how to deal with one another. And yeah, they do have their own. They work together most of the time. Not all of the time, but most of the time. Common sense, right? Our HBCUs, Hampton University is pretty good. Norfolk State's all right. If you go up to Richmond, their HBCUs are okay as well. Richmond, which has had poverty on par. And I've stayed in Richmond as well. So I know what it's like. I know what the people are like. People are different every single place you go. And I can tell by the level of diversity and the level of poverty what people are going to be like. I mean, not just because I have degrees in, psychology of culture. You know what I mean? I can just tell because I grew up that way with a lot of diversity. We had a number of people from overseas and all over the country. It just, they come to VA. I don't know why, especially the area we're in, probably just because of the reason that I'm saying, right? So anyway, I go in and there's these country white women who are talking loudly, giggling, I mean, just everything but country music playing. And this is a pretty, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's not like the deep south. So I'm sitting here like, what's going on? And the stylist is just, she just gets there, right? And so as she gets there, she takes my daughter, does her hair, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna go because it seemed okay. My daughter paid, and then I went. So I went, and she starts, talking, doing my hair. But it seemed like it was okay, but I had to ask her what type of, um, you know, conditioner she was using. Most people right now use something called Design Essentials for soap presses because it doesn't damage the hair and it looks better. It lasts, a little longer. She said, "Oh no, I don't use that," and everyone's different. Blah blah blah. So what I found was everyone's different was a tagline throughout this whole conversation and the conversation afterwards I had when I texted her later and her managers, you know, automatic approval of whatever she did. I mean, people, how many people do you know if you go into a grocery store and something is, foul, with the customer service, and you talk to the manager, they say, "Well, I trust my customer 100. I mean, excuse me, my employee 100%, and ignore the customer." Because the managers were Caucasian, the women were Caucasian, everyone there on one side, almost like it was segregation. I mean, she had one little chair, and it was just sad. I've seen this in North Carolina before, where they will organize little booths where they can inside other people's establishments, but normally the booths are kind of closed in so that you can't see who's in the next booth. And there are other African American stylists most of the time. As many of you know, we have a tradition of African American hair. I mean, we create products, 80% of the products that are out right now in Target or Walmart were not there 10 years ago, and they were created by African American people, whether those lines were sold or not. And I praise those people who first started out, because I remember some of those people on YouTube. I remember when they came out, Alakay, what is that? I remember her, yeah, Alakay from Florida, and she came out, and then she wasn't even picked up by Target when I first started watching her on YouTube. So kudos to her. Um, but the thing is, yeah, I remember living in California and going and seeing no black hair care sections, and mostly a Hispanic area you would expect for California, and having to ask the person in the department, the Hispanic person, where's your black hair care section, and her pointing to one relaxer box literally submerged in every other thing in that aisle, and wasn't any other ethnic hair care period. And you better believe, who wrote the corporate office. And soon after that, it changed. I like to think it was because of me, but, I give myself a lot of credit. But that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I'm, waiting my turn. I go get in a chair. She starts washing my hair. She puts the, um, you know, uh, shampoo, conditioner, so forth in my hair. And she starts this blow dry with the comb. It's really rough. And then I'm just like, what is she doing? She's going to mess up the whole thing with this blow dry. She's like, the brush, and she put the heat so close to my head. It burns your hair shaft, right? We have natural hair. I know I'm not conceited because I've done 3 big chops. I really don't give a crap about my hair most of the time. That's not why. It's just an endeavor. When you go and you want to do something and you have a goal, then you just like to stick with it. And if it gets tired and you get bored and you want to cut it, that for me is no big thing. I could shave it tomorrow. It really doesn't matter. But it's just a fact that you set a goal this time. This time I want to do this time I want to do that. And you work towards a goal and you try. But then someone comes along and they're so petty. And that's what people like here. And it was just, she burnt my scalp with the you know, blow dryer. And I was just like, God, how close is she going to get? It was crazy. And if she assaulted me or something, it was nuts. And then she just completely started with this cheap little flat iron, which you could tell wasn't ceramic, it wasn't ionic, it wasn't cheap, it wasn't anything. I don't know what it was. I guess she figures, she probably doesn't care because she gets away with it probably a lot around here. And she started just going in with the curl and the flat iron at the same time, taking big pieces. She wasn't really taking her time, and she didn't care. And so when she finished, I was shocked. And that's the reason why I'm here today. I mean, it was a lot of women over 60, 65 in the shop. Some one looked like 80. I mean, I'm not joking or exaggerating, but looked like a nursing home. Nor do I have any sense of ageism in my whole entire body, okay? I don't care. But it was weird. They were old. And they had those old 80s curls and stuff like that. And I thought, oh God, what place did Jasmine book? I'm thinking to myself, what kind of place is this? I want to get out of here. But I'm in a rush, so I'm just going to go ahead and go. Go with it, get it over with. I know she's overcharged. I mean, there's a lot of different signals here. The place not clean. She's overcharging. I mean, she's obviously got some, you know, situation here where she's got to work here. So I don't know. It feels uncomfortable to me. But let's go with it. I mean, now let's get this straight now. The situation with her being the only black stylist, I'm not talking from a standpoint of you're in a biracial relationship and there's a man who's a different color, say he's white, and then he has white friends, and you choose to be in that relationship and you're used to that environment. Okay, that's a choice. And that's something where when you're around people of color, other people of color, you tell them, hey, do you feel comfortable? I mean, it's cool. This is so and so and so. North Carolina is not like that. Okay, and obviously we're in a relationship, but they don't attempt to even remotely explain anything or talk about it, or it's just not talked about, right? This is just old school South, old boy network. It's not a relationship type situation. It's a situation. They don't feel like they have a choice. And if anything, in hair care, like I say before, in the black community, you should. And we do. It's not like I've never seen it before. I mean, my gosh, Virginia's not even Georgia. I mean, have they been to Atlanta? I mean, we aren't as, I don't want to call them vain, but we aren't anywhere near where Atlanta is or some of the other cities. New York, we're just basically kind of in the middle. And they don't have that recognition of what the real world, so to speak, is like. Now, Charlotte is much better. I've been to other parts of North Carolina as well, um, but it's difficult to explain. It's just like they live in a little loop, and if you get people from lower parts of the South that come here, they just don't want to change. From 1980s, you know, that's what I want to say. And getting back to my point, those women were straight out of the 80s. It was so scary. And when she did my hair, it looked like, I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating, something from a Back to the Future. Not even Back to the Future, because I remember the 80s and big hair, and I don't know any women, not African American women, that wear their hair like that. I mean, we did the 90s with the salt and pepper look, and even then, I would think that would be weird if you did like a asymmetric or something in this day and age. And that was the 90s when I was in high school. So you're talking about, it was cray cray. I mean, I was scared because I was just like, is she trying to be funny? What is going on? And she said, I had to ask her, I was like, are you finished? She was like, yeah. It was like all these big hair. It was like those old women. She did my hair like those old women. I guess that's the way they say it. Just like they don't care, put some curls in there, sit in the dryer, and then it was awful. I had to ask her for like a chance to under the dryer. She didn't put any wrap lotion or anything on it to hold it to hold the wrap. Like I'd never had a wrap before. It was just I don't know, odd. And I would say if I were somewhere else that she was throwing shade, I get a lot of jealousy for some odd reason from numerous different people. But lack of education is number one. Sometimes it's skin color, sometimes it's colorism, sometimes it's because I'm a single parent. And for those of you who are single parents, you can understand that. It's sad, but it does happen. And sometimes it's just blatant racism. Rarely it's sexism when I'm somewhere, and I will say that it does. Sexism does happen, yeah, but it happens within the lens of racism, because especially if there's a white gentleman doing it or white women under their white male privilege doing it, right? And that's what happens here in North Carolina still a lot. Like the 80s is scary as I don't know what. I remember the 80s when I was a kid, and it was not fun. So anyway, before Virginia got wise to it. So anyway, I was so frustrated. I had to comb my hair myself in the chair, show her how to do the style. I'm like, is she kidding me? And then I was like, no. I mean, I was petrified at this style. It was really scary. I was like, I'm in this Twilight Zone. I've never seen anything like it. Never. Not anybody even try to do it, because it's disrespectful towards our heritage. I mean, they might do a bad job, but nobody's going to bring out an old flat iron and then just pretty much fake their way through the whole thing. I mean, I just was like, what is going on? And she could have messed up my natural hair, because everyone knows we can't keep heat on it, right? It's just the way African American women's hair is very thin. So anyway, um, I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm I gotta pick my son. I'm going to the dough. I knowing I'm overpaying here. I'm just here. I ended up being told her how to flat iron. She had to recurl the whole thing. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it the way you want to do it. Wait a minute, don't you know how to do it? Don't you know what you're doing? Don't I mean, you have no idea. And the pictures don't. She has like 100% ratings on her website on Style Seed. So I'm like, and the pictures on Style Seed were totally different. So it was wild. And you know that when I looked at that picture on Style Seed and I saw that silk pressed on, I said, wow, she really must be good. I don't know if it's fraud. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm like, what the hell is this? I don't know. North Carolina's crazy. You end up in the wrong area. I mean, you could get killed. I mean, I guess right now, especially for black men and women, that could be anywhere. But I mean, here it's just weird. You don't know what generation, what decade they dropped out of. You know what I mean? And I am a mental health specialist, and I'm serious. They're totally brainwashed. It's like, I can't describe it. Internalized depression to a point where I don't believe there's a chance of it ever changing. Because if you keep going through the same thing over and over again and you don't want to change, and you can clearly see it's wrong, it doesn't make any sense. You're going to go crazy. So, anyway, I just really honestly threw my money out, or my card or whatever, and just cringed and walked out the door. I had to go pick up my son from school, and the whole time I'm trying to brush my hair to get it down to a point where it looked like it was not crazy looking. Picked my son up, came home and redid my hair and just basically brushed it down. That's what I've been doing since last night. I had to take my son to school in the morning, Jasmine to work. So my hair is not going to look the best all day long. I just want something that's manageable and something that I feel like, you know, it is something that is supposed to be what I paid for. So long story short, I mean, you never know what you're going to walk into. I mean, you never felt so much like Forrest Gump in your life. Like life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, I mean, I walked up in there like, what could possibly go wrong? Right? You're thinking, hey, finally getting some self-care, easy day, going to get this taken care of, appointments made, walk in there, boom, bam. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, they think of every single thing in this world to do backwards. I've never seen things like this. The traffic lights aren't timed right. Sometimes they don't have traffic lights. I mean, it's just, and when I say that, I mean like they need a traffic light, like you're coming out of a shopping center and it's a four-way intersection and there's literally 6 lanes of traffic, two going this way, one in the middle, and two going this way, and you have to go across 4 lanes of traffic to get to the other side, and it's a sprint because traffic is coming in both directions. So most of the time, I just pull into the middle aisle and wait with my signal on so I can go ahead and pull over or try to, speed over before someone hits me. And this is normal practice. This is 6 or 7 intersections like this. And it's absolutely no excuse for it. I mean, it's like, I understand it has some embezzlement issues or some problems financially, but if you're in charge of a city, you're in charge of a city. Their roots run deep as far as being afraid to speak up for themselves. And that was the epitome of crazy. And I complained to the manager, who was a Caucasian gentleman. I saw him when he walked in there, and they said, I already didn't know you were here or whatever. So I figured he was the manager. So I get online last night, and he's like, I'm the manager, and I stand behind my style is 100%. And I'm sitting here like, that doesn't sound right. You didn't even listen to what I said. And this is the deaf ear situation here. They don't care. They're going to back up the people that they're using, which are the African American people here who do their bidding. And if they're wrong, they do the wrong thing and back them up. Not all of them, because obviously there are, larger companies here. There's places like Publix, which is a large grocery store in Florida, for those of you guys are from up north. And they basically, I had a problem with some hemp milk, which I happen to love, that I purchased there, which is nasty, because the people here can be really nasty. And their store had some clumps in it. Every time I purchased it from week to week, so I had to complain. And the manager sounds like he was probably from somewhere else. Oh, okay, yes, Miss Gray, blah, blah, blah. Just, when you deal with people who've been other places, it's cool. And I'm cool with them. But when it's a situation where those people are rude, then, I'm losing power on my phone. Then I'm rude back to them. So anyway, that's my story time. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for listening, and I'm sorry I was in a bad mood here, but I just want to let you know what's going on, and hopefully in the future we can change some of these things. Bye.